The way you talk to somebody over the internet is way different than you would talk to somebody in real life, right? I mean, especially if you're talking to someone via like chat or whatever, texting, like it's way different. It's like way easier, and you can sit there and think about it. You can rewrite it and like, ask your friends. There is a lot to that. And then in real life, you got to think on your feet. You got to look nice. You got to, you keep eye contact, pay attention to whatever the girl is saying to you respond to that. There is way more going on, right? And if you don't, as a guy or a woman, honestly, if you don't practice those skills, they kind of, dwindle out and die.
Hello, welcome to the Asian Dating Podcast. I am your host, May Bugenhagen. I am the owner and CEO of Two Asian Matchmakers. I run a Asian matchmaking business helping men of all ethnicities find a nice Asian woman. Today, I have a special guest named Ella Scaduto, and she is the owner of Smoky Matchmaker. Ella is a dynamic force in the world of matchmaking and date coaching. Smoky Mountain Matchmaker was created for one specific purpose in mind: helping Tennesseans find and build the lifelong, authentic, meaningful relationships they deserve. So I will include everything in the show notes. Welcome to the show, Ella. How are you?
Hi, May. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I invited Ella to come back on the show today because last time we had such a great conversation about dating. And of course, like any date coach or matchmaker, we just have tons of stories behind the curtain. We have a lot of stories. So today we're going to talk, of course, about dating. And Ella, what is your specialty you would like to talk about today?
Oh gosh, we did cover a bunch last time, but like you said, we always have more to go over. I mean, we could do podcasts for hours and hours and hours. We can talk about dating and saying hello to strangers when you're out and about. For young
Yes.
guys, that could be helpful.
Yes, that is always a great topic because I'm sure we have listeners out there that would wonder why or how they could up their dating game and to meet more people. And I know you work a lot with engineers and probably a little more introverted, smart guys. Tell me a little bit about that and what are some things that you help them through with coaching and how to meet women when they're out and about.
Yeah, sure, totally. Yes, I do work with a bunch of younger guys. I mean, I have older guys as well, but I do coach younger guys, and it's pretty simple. To me, it's I just kind of help them to, kind of get out there and be comfortable in their own skin and be comfortable talking to women. I just kind of tell them like, listen, if you go say hi, we're, us women, we're not gonna take your head off or anything. You'll survive this. Just kind of get him. I do the coaching, and then the following week, the way this works, I do a coaching 1 week, and then the following we actually go out somewhere, in field, as I would say, and then we kind of, approach women. Well, not we, they do. I just, I hang out, I just cheer for them, and I kind of, throw a little suggestion here and there what to say and all that good stuff, and the posture and looks and all the stuff in between.
So what happens? You take them out in real life and you say, okay, Bob, you know, sit straight up, fix your glasses, or like, what do you do to make them feel like, okay, this is a real life situation. I better buckle up and learn something. Like, what are some tactics you tell them to do?
I meet them in person so that I could see what is it that they usually wear, because guys don't think about like, oh, I'm gonna go meet a coach. Let me, dress up. They don't do that. So they just put whatever they feel like being out and about, and then I sit there and judge them mercilessly. So we start with looks. I try to update the looks, and I recommend, and I'll go shopping with them if I have to, which I do a lot of times. And the hair, the facials. I'll even tell guys like, listen, like I love the beard, fantastic, especially here in Tennessee. But like, let's make it look nice, right? Let's make it look professional, not like you have an animal living on your face, right? So, and I'm really like brutally honest with the guys. I'm like nice about it, but also brutally honest. And because they're men, they can take it. They're okay. I am completely different with women though. Anyway, so we update the looks, overall, the shirt, the pants, shoes, the whole maybe throw a watch on, something like that. So they look really good. And then when we go out, then I tell them, all right, let's, relax your shoulders, put a smile on, think of something happy. So you're happy, your whole face looks happier. And maybe get a drink if you have to, but you don't have to. It's better to like do the whole approach and then meeting people when you're not intoxicated, but get a drink of any kind if you're one of those people that need to hold something in hands, right, to keep them busy. So hold a glass of water, or some kind of cocktail that's a virgin type, and then they just go and introduce themselves. So it's fun. I kind of point out, I'm like, she looks cute, go say hello, smile, shoulders back, confidence, you got it. And they do.
So they make the effort to go and approach a woman, and you're just standing there kind of watching them. And so what happens? They talk to the woman, then they come back to you, and then you find someone else for them to talk to.
So I do watch from a distance, so I can't really hear what they're saying. And I try not to look, creepy, like I'm sitting there watching the whole thing. But yeah, they go out, they say hi, they do a little chat, they say what they're supposed to be saying, and then they come back. Sometimes they kind of get really into it, and they go, we go out to like bars and nightclubs, because that's where all the young people, that's where they all go. So a lot of times when all is well, when they're talking, then they go out and dancing and stuff, and then they're doing their own thing. But if it didn't work out, they come back to me and we just hang out. But at all times, I do try to make it look like we're just buddies hanging out, so that when I do arrive to a place with one of my clients, no one like, because women, they see a new guy come into a room, then they're like, oh, like he's cute. But then I'm next to him and they're like, oh, he's unavailable. But so that's why I kind of look like we're just friends, right? I'm here as a friend. He's very much available, go at it. So it's really cool. And we just hang out, take turns, and then they go out to another one, which is totally fine. You could absolutely run around the whole place and work the room, talk to this girl and that girl and this other girl. It is great.
What if they don't go and talk to the woman? They're so embarrassed or so awkward or shy. Like, what are some tips you give them when they're like a shy person?
So most of them are shy, especially guys in tech, younger guys in tech. They're more on the shy side because, they just kind of sit by themselves in the office. A lot of times they work from home and they don't hang out with anybody. So they kind of lose the whole, ability to network and relax in the crowd. So I just kind of tell them to relax and pretend that they're not actually trying to meet a woman for, a potential dating or, a girlfriend or any of those things. I just tell them like, listen, we're here to make a new friend. Let's make a goal that by the time we get out of here, you'll talk to like one or two people or make like one friend, right? So I'm trying to make it seem more of chatting with friends versus talking to a woman, because that is a different field, right? Like everyone is more relaxed talking to friend, and then when you have to meet a woman, then it's like, woo, now we skyrocket, right? Same from women, right? Like there's plenty of women who are shy and they'll sit by the bar by themselves hoping that somebody would come by, but then they're shy to go and chat up a guy, right? Because it's it's like a whole new level of confidence people feel like they need to have to do that. But at the end of the day, pretend you have confidence, like assume some kind of confident position where you're okay being there. Nothing will happen. Like I tell the guys, like, if you go talk to a woman and she says no, like what's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? Like, is she going to take your head off? Is she going to like stab you? Like, is there going to be murder scene? Like, no, none of those things will happen. Most of the time, 9.5 times out of 10, a woman will be just like, oh no, I have a boyfriend, or like, no thanks, I'm just waiting for my friends, or whatever. Like almost never will a woman be like, yeah, go get lost and get hit by a car, right? I mean, some of them exist, those women do exist, and they say really mean things to guys, but most of the time they'll just be like, I have a boyfriend or I'm waiting for friends, which means she's not interested, leave her alone and move on. In this case, you just, as a guy, you would just be like, yeah, totally cool, got it, have a good night, and skedaddle, which is, move on.
Do you
But
do you see some women give certain looks or invitations to have men come over to them? Like, what are some signs that women can do to attract men at a bar or at a club?
oh, absolutely. We're everybody does the science every time. Um, just I would say open, like open body look. So like not cross your arms, right? Like if anybody's watching, right? Crossed arms means I am not interested in whatever you have to say, right? Which also goes the same for crossed legs, right? So women think it's adorable when they sit with like their legs crossed over, but it is crossing your body. So it's like I'm guarding myself. Don't come near, right? It's unfortunate, but it's like super common. Everybody, single people too, the ones that are interested to go out there, and instead of sitting at the bar and getting mentally kind of prepared to talk to people, they would get on their phone and then they're looking at the thing or whatever. I mean, it could be an email, a video game, a text to a friend, doesn't matter, but they're looking at it, right? And that means I'm not interested. It's like having earbuds at the gym and you play music mostly because you want to exercise to it, but it also means like don't come and talk to me. I'm not listening to anything, right? So the same as the phone, put that thing away. Just sit cute and look at the guy that you like and throw a smile, and that's an immediate come chat with me, and it's totally fine. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't suggest go ahead and go home with them after the fact, but that's a little extra. But inviting a guy to come talk to you that way is totally normal, if you're in the public place and everything is cool, and those are simple things. But like open body and smiling and looking at the guy, like if you catch an eye contact with the guy, then like I got your attention, now I'm smiling, now come say hello. And men get it, like it's in the back of their lizard brain. They know what a woman looking at them smiling means, like all of them know that.
It seems like we've kind of gotten away from that. Like, as a single woman who goes to a bar waiting for her friends, she will most likely just hop on the phone as opposed to using that as an opportunity to be like, okay, I'm supposed to meet my friend at 7. I'm going to show up at 6:30 and hang out at the bar for 30 minutes, waiting for my friend to show up at 7 o'clock for dinner. I feel like that's a good thing that single women should do. Like, if they're supposed to meet a friend somewhere, then just show up an hour early, 30 minutes early, and sit at the bar and order something. And like you said, have open body language, but don't be on your phone, right? Like, make eye contact, talk to the bartender. I mean, who knows? The bartender might know someone who's single or whatever. Like, you just never know. Like, you just have to really be open minded and have a plan when you go out. So, um,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the bartenders know everybody. Even sitting like, like I feel like when you walk into a bar, right? And I always like to use bars because that's where all the singles hang out. Especially on like Friday night, right? That's a singles night. Married people go out on Saturday. Like if you're in the bar and you see a guy that's cute and you like him, no matter what age you are, right? Go sit next to him if possible, or squeeze yourself in between and get next to him and just ask anything that comes to your mind. Like, what are you drinking? Like, should I get that? I don't know what to get. Like, help me out. Like anything like that, anything innocent, ridiculous, and men will be happy to do that, right? Especially if you put yourself all together nicely and everything, and you look all cute and sexy, and you go and chat up with a guy, and they'll be happy to respond.
yeah.
Like if you're sitting next to somebody, chat with them. Even if you're like not particularly interested in the person right next to you, right? And like you don't find like they're okay, but you don't find them attractive specifically for you, right? chat with them, practice conversation, right? Practice saying things and getting responses, practice your jokes. I mean, just be social.
Yeah.
Any kind of social activity is really good at the end of the day.
I feel like that's great for anyone who goes to a party that they just talk to anybody and have a good time talking to that person and laughing, and other people in at the party would see you having a great time laughing with someone else, and that actually looks good, right? Like the fact that you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good time, all those things are great ways of communicating to people that you're a fun person, and hopefully other people can notice you. But I came across this really good pickup line for guys. I don't know if you want to hear this. Maybe your guys will find this valuable. So, for
Totally.
example, you go into a restaurant or a bar, or wherever it may be, like a cafe or whatever, and you see a cute lady, a cute woman sitting at a table, and who knows if she's single or married or whatever, but if you're just trying to be outgoing, you can go up to her and tell her, "Hey, you are sitting at my table. Do you mind if I buy you a drink?"
That's a good one. I
Isn't that a
like
good pickup line? I totally thought that was a great pickup line. Like, it's very fun, it's very confident. You're not being
it.
like slimy, but you're just being like, "Hey, you are sitting at my favorite table, or you're sitting at my table. Do you mind if I buy you a drink and join you?" Like, whatever, just have fun. So I thought that was a good
Absolutely.
pickup line.
Absolutely. I mean, anything, like I always, when I take the guys out, right, I tell them, like, look around, make mental notes. Like, what do you see? Do we have a new band? Do we have a new bartender or a new decor in the bar or whatever? And then approach the woman, and, you can use those things to start a conversation, right? Those are like observational cues.
Yeah,
And just like, hey, how do you like this band, right? Like, have you heard them before? They seem cool. Is this your first time here? And blah 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 blah. And you kind of just get your way into talking.
right.
Yeah, no, that's a great pickup line. I like it.
What else? What else are good observational pickup lines or conversation starters? But what else can people do approaching someone at a bar or club or restaurant, coffee shop?
Yeah, so you can use pretty much anything that's around you, right? Like the observational, or you could just be pretty blunt, right? And just, but you gotta grab your cojones and go for it. What I'm saying is for the men, not for women right now. But you grab yourself and go for it and be super confident, smiling, and approach a woman and say, "Hey, this is like out of the blue completely, and I'm sure you didn't expect it, but I think you're like you're the prettiest girl in this place, right? Just wanted to let you know, you're welcome. That's it. And then you just joke about it, and then reach your hand out, say like, my name is, Sam or Anthony, whatever, right? And introduce yourself, but like be smiling, right? Again, talking to men right now. Just always smile, because guys, and I have to tell it to my guys constantly. I'm like, you guys are like big and giant and very strong, and us women, we're like tiny little prey, right? So you have to like disarm yourself in front of us, so we're not immediately putting all the guards up, right? Because
Would
we
would a woman find that a turnoff if it's a compliment about her looks? Like, would she feel like, "Oh gosh, here's another guy trying to hit on me"? Like, what if the guy instead went up to her and approached her and say something like, "I bet you are the second smartest person here." Like, just as a random comment, but not the smartest. But then you're like kind of, I don't know, creating sexual tension by saying you're not the smartest, you're the second smartest woman here, I bet. Or would that be like something that would turn her off?
yeah, that's like a little banter stuff going.
Right.
um I feel, as a woman myself, right? I feel that if anybody would get like upset, or would you say about the whole comment that I think you're the most prettiest girl in here or whatever, the most beautiful, I think that it would be kind of silly to be upset about it. Like someone's trying to make it and give you a compliment, right? Just take it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. He's not like, the guy is not coming up and saying like, oh, I love your, breasts or something. Like that would be like, whoa, buddy, like bartender, send help, right? But just if a man says that you're beautiful, just take it. Say, yeah,
Thank
awesome,
you.
thanks.
Right.
You don't want to be like, I know. This is how you end it right there, right? As a woman, somebody comes up, and I'm sure there's plenty of guys that throw, you're gorgeous and beautiful, blah, 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 because they're trying really hard to pick up a woman, right? And as a woman, now I'm talking to women, if you're not interested and somebody approaches you, just say, I know, thank you. Like straight face, just be
Yeah.
like, I know, okay, toodly do. And he will disappear. It works like magic.
Yeah.
But if you are interested, then just say thanks, or whatever, and smile and let him do his little thing.
Yeah.
Don't butcher the guy for trying. I
I
mean,
know it's tough. I mean, men have to be the one that pursues women, who asks the women out usually. I mean, it's tough being a guy out there being single. So at least women who gets compliments and gets picked up on, or all these things, at least you let them down easily, right? Like you don't find
yeah.
things to get offended about, but yet at the same time, you can joke around with him and then end the conversation if you're not interested, like what Ella says. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough deal for men to be the one who has to pursue, who has to figure out if you're single, who has to ask for your phone number and potentially get rejected. So, what are some ways that women can let the man down easily without being a jerk?
Okay, so that one's pretty easy. Just be a nice person. Don't be mean, because I personally believe in karma, and karma will come back and get you. So be nice to people. Doesn't matter if they're guys, anybody, just always, be nice. So that's one. Another thing, just let him go through the little motion. Now, if they're rude, cut it off. Like, be like, I know, goodbye, right? If they're being rude and like inappropriate about the whole pickup process that they're going through. But if they're being okay and they're just being like a little bit shy or nerdy, and you could tell they're doing their best, just let him get through it and be like, oh my God, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like if he says you're pretty and whatever, really appreciate it. Thank you. But I hate to say it, but like I'm married, or I'm waiting for my boyfriend or my fiance or whatever, any of those things, right? If you're not interested. But do say, I appreciate it, thank you, you're so kind, I love it, blah blah blah, but I am waiting for like my spouse or boyfriend, fiance, one of those things, or like my friends or whatever. Now hopefully those people do actually show up, otherwise you're gonna look like a liar later in the day while he's still in there in the bar.
What if he says all those things and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, that's such a nice compliment. Are you single? Let's help you find somebody in here. Like you just turn it around and try to be friendly to them and be like, okay, what's your type? Let me help you find somebody. And like try to be his wing woman instead of, getting into that weird situation where he's hitting on you.
Right. So that would be like a totally normal response for you and for me and for our colleague friends. Normal women would usually not get themselves involved in out playing a matchmaker with this random guy they don't even know in the bar, especially if they actually are married or dating somebody, because then their significant other could be like, what's going on, right? So that could create different kind of tension. So I wouldn't recommend it per se, but go, you do you. If somebody wants to play matchmaker, go for it. But that could also be a little bit confusing to a guy, because he might interpret that as a flirtation.
Right.
Right. So like she's not saying yes, but she's still involved. So like it's not a no, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
that's sending too many mixed messages for him. So,
yeah.
so tell me about the kind of guys, men and women that you help, and how do people find you and all that good stuff?
So I have a coaching program for guys. It's usually younger guys. And then of course I do matchmaking. I do love my coaching program though, and I am working on something for online, which is, it's in the process. So I do that. I do the normal matchmaking and everything, the regular coaching, and I do also coaching for women, which is I just kind of help them figure out the ways and the routes online and get them fellas off of online and into the dating world. I'm a big believer in in-person things. I even do speed dating events so that they all get out there and practice. And how do they find me? Social media, Facebook. I'm on all of those things everywhere.
Under Smoky Matchmaker
Smoky Matchmaker. Yeah.
on all avenues.
I think
TikTok,
so.
Facebook.
Oh no TikTok. I can't get into TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm not really on it every day. I'm not a huge fan of social media. I feel like it's such a time sucker, like you get on there and you start watching cat videos. Next thing you know, it's been 4 hours. Um
When you say
but
younger men, what age range are you talking about?
so I get guys younger than 25.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
21 to
I
21.
haven't I haven't had a 21-year-old approach yet. My youngest one is like 24.
Okay.
I've ran into a 21-year-old a while back, but he just looked like a baby, so I kind of felt weird. I'm like, just go practice on your own. I feel like you gotta, learn a little bit on your own how to receive rejection first, so you can learn how to deal with it, and then maybe come and find a coach to help you with the rest.
Why do
But
you think there are so many young men out there seeking help from a matchmaker now? Because I remember like 15 years ago, I would never get like the 20 somethings coming to me, but now I do get a lot of 20 something year olds, and I don't work with them. I work with the 35 and up. But why do
Mhm.
you think there is like a high demand of young men in their 20s seeking out matchmakers right now?
So I honestly believe, and I'm gonna sound like a really old person now, but I honestly believe that a lot of it has to do with that social media,
Mhm.
right? Because now I feel like everyone is now online and not in the real world. And when you're online, you kind of have this undescribed, undisclosed, or whatever, unnamed permission to say whatever you want, right? In real life, you can't do those things, right? So then people don't really practice how to talk to real people in real world, right? And then they kind of don't figure out the whole process of it, and then they get shy, but then they are more shy to go out and do something about it, so the whole skill is getting lost on our generations. But I really do think it's the social media, because you go on there and you can meet people from anywhere in the world, right? So why would you want to go to your local bar and meet the same 15, 20 people that are there every weekend, when you could be talking to a pretty girl from Japan or Ukraine or whatever, something else, right? Any of those places. So it gives you like this belief that there's all these options out there. Now, will you ever meet that girl from Japan, Russia, or Germany or Switzerland? No, you will never meet that girl in person. She might not even be a girl, right? Like, she could be a dude that's scamming young guys, which is highly possible, but no one really thinks about it that far, right? So they feel like there's all these options and it's great and they're happy, but then they go out in real world and they talk to real women who require for a guy to have a skill in talking to women, and then it doesn't work out for them, so they get frustrated and they don't do it anymore, and then the less they do it, the less they know how to do it, the confidence level goes way down, and then eventually they find themselves in a position where, like, well, all those girls that I've been talking to from all over the world are not an actual option, right? I would like to have an actual relationship, but now I don't know how to do it. So I'm gonna go hire a matchmaker or a dating coach or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's, yeah, unfortunately, social media has hurt the communications for the men and women. I feel like it's, yeah, it's kind of ruining their dating game, right? Their dating
Oh,
skill. They're not even
oh,
developing their dating skills.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know, the way you talk to somebody over the internet is way different than you would talk to somebody in real life, right? I mean, you know, there's, especially if you're talking to someone via like chat or whatever, texting, like it's way different. It's like way easier, and you can sit there and think about it. You know, you can rewrite it and like, ask your friends. You know, there is a lot to that. And then in real life, you got to think on your feet. You got to look nice. You got to, you know, you keep eye contact, pay attention to whatever the girl is saying to you. You respond to that. There is way more going on, right? And if you don't, you know, as a guy or a woman, honestly, if you don't practice those skills, they kind of, you know, dwindle out and die. That's from
So
the movie.
how often do you do the speed dating events, and what age ranges do you do for those parties?
Yeah, so I do speed dating once a month. I just had one the other day, not yesterday. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. So it was the other day. And I have two different sets. I have the speed dating that I do every month is the ages are 30 to 48. And then I did one time I did that Silver Fox and Vixen,
Mhm.
and it was, so that one was 50 to 69, you know, or 68, something like that. So that's like a mature audience, and then, you know, a younger crowd. That was cool, but unfortunately the Fox and Vixen took a lot of energy and time to get people in it. So I was like, I don't know if I want to mess with it again, you know, because I don't want to have like a lot of women come out and then like a couple guys and then women are upset and whatever. So I was like, oh,
Is
that's
that just a party for 50s and 60s, pretty much?
so it's a speed dating, so
Right.
it's in the same format as the
Mhm.
speed dating. But yeah, so there's one for them 50 and up, and the one that I usually do is 30 to 48. And it's great. But you know, the Fox and Vixen fellas, they keep asking me, they're like, you gotta do another one for us. I'm like, okay, fine. But I'm like, you gotta show up now, you
Oh,
know.
funny, funny. Well, I mean, thank you so much for sitting with me and chatting, of course, about dating and all that good stuff. And I will put all of your contact information in the show notes. But any last minute parting dating tip you have for the listeners out there?
My big one, I would say, if you're really serious about finding someone, right? You don't, it doesn't have to be online or in a bar or whatever. There's actually a thing where you could meet someone that somebody else that you know already knows, right? So what do you call it? Like third, fourth degree of separation. And thinking of that one, my advice is then, including that whole thought, is never deny an invitation, right? So if you truly want to find someone, do not deny an invitation from anybody you know. If your friends call you and say, we're going out for drinks, I know it's late, but let's do it. Say yes. Say yes to that. If you see your colleague has some kind of networking event he or she is gonna go to, say yes, go to that one. Whatever is going on, if somebody throws an invitation your way, say yes. Just say yes. You know, get out there and meet people. You know, it doesn't have to be just online. If it is, it's great. You're, you know, more options. But, you know, be out there, meet people, and you will find somebody. The more you're out and about, the higher chances that you'll actually meet somebody that you like, that
That
could
is true. That is
a
true.
husband or wife, or you know, a father to your kids or a mother to your kids. But you got to be out there.
Yeah.
You'll never find them if you're just sitting home and, you know, hoping for one. It's not getting delivered by Amazon anytime soon.
Unless it's the Amazon delivery guy, but even then, chances are very slim. No, I love it. I love it, Ella. I agree. Like, I feel like if you're single and if you're looking, you just really have to look. You have to go out there and do the work. You can't just expect someone to appear at your doorstep. Like, this isn't a sitcom. This isn't a movie or TV. It's like, if you're truly vested in looking for somebody, you have to do the work, go out there and find him or her, and to put your effort in. And if you need, you can join events, go to Eventbrite or meetup.com or Facebook group. There's tons
Cool.
of events everywhere. You can just commit to one event a week. And I would love to challenge the listeners out there to just commit to one event a week and just get out of your comfort zone and think outside the box. And you never know who you'll meet. I mean, chances are if you interview 10 people about how they met their spouse, I bet you it's like some random way of how people met. So you just never know. But I agree with that. So ladies, if you're single and would like to be part of my database, please join my database at 2asianmatchmakers.com. And men, if you're looking to hire a matchmaker to meet lovely Asian women, that is me. I would love to help you. May Bugenhagen. Please go to 2asianmatchmakers.com. And thank you, Ella, for joining me today. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you.